Alrighty, so here's the beginning of our live stream. Just wait for people to start showing up, and then we'll get started. And again, sorry for anybody with the crappy quality of our webcam. We're hoping to eventually update to a better one. Just a little hello message for everyone. I see we've got 2 people. Hello, people. What's this? Sure, there's one. Hello. Nice to see you guys. How's your weekend going? Yeah, our weekend's been pretty busy too. We have been running around trying to get all kinds of things done. Ends up being the time when we can do most things is the weekend. So when we're able to get things taken care of, errands and whatnot. Hope it's been good busy as opposed to unpleasant. A little of both. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully the good outweighs the bad then. Because, it's never any fun. Oh, goodness. Computer's making noises at me. Shoot. There. Go to life system. Hey, kid. Hello. YouTube front. Aw, thank you. Much appreciated. Yep. And for anybody who didn't already see it, we posted a link to the Matai Systems video if you'd like to vote in the Great DID Bake Off to decide who wins the first round. So anybody who hasn't checked that out, feel free. So we were gonna discuss some thoughts about future things to do for the channel and things like that. Besides donating money to an Infinite Mind, which is something that we're doing with our Patreon, we were hoping somewhere in the future that we wanted to set up like a store, a little online merchandise type thing for mental health products, like journals and things like that to help people with their mental health so that we can get stuff made more inexpensively so that people can afford stuff that maybe they couldn't afford otherwise. So that was something we've been thinking about doing. That sounds cool. Oh, glad you think so. Yeah, we wanted to have options out there because I know that like a lot of the journals and other things out there can tend to be pretty expensive. So our thought was if we could get them made through YouTube merchandising type stuff, that a lot of times that cuts down the costs a lot. So then we could offer it to people at a much reduced price than maybe what they might find somewhere else. It's going to take some doing. Obviously, it's not something that's going to happen right away, but it's something that we want to kind of work towards. We were thinking of offering things, like I said, like journals, like grounding keychains, with like little different textured beads and things on them so that people can carry them around and have something to help them with grounding, even if they're out and about. Different things like that. Just, stuff to help people out. Love a voice system, that's a great idea. Oh, I'm glad you think so. Yeah, I mean, we figure we have a platform. We want to help as many people as possible. And, the more people that we can help, the better as far as we're concerned. So, I mean, it's something that's just important to us. We want to try to do as much good for the overall DID and OSDD community and the overall population as we possibly can while we're here. That's our life goal. Does anybody have any suggestions for anything maybe they'd like to see offered? Like anything that they haven't been able to find other places or they tend to be inordinately expensive? Because we're always happy to take suggestions. And then we'll just see what's possible with the resources that we have available to us, what we can and can't do. Oh my goodness. We went on an 8-mile bike ride yesterday, so we're a little sore. The ecosystem. Finally, we're in a live stream in your channel, guys. Yay, hope you're all doing well. Aw, thank you. Much appreciated. Ask the Jedi journals and planners are nice. Okay, cool. So we'll definitely focus on those. We want to make sure that, people have access to that kind of stuff. Yeah, like I said, we were definitely thinking anything that can help people manage their mental health more effectively is something that we want to try to offer when we do eventually create any sort of merchandise. Because for us, it's really not about making money. It's about trying to offer things to people that maybe they can't get somewhere else or, for a better price. And then, any money that we do make is going to go towards improving the channel and donating to an Infinite Mind, since they're a really cool organization to help systems with the ID and OSDD. We really want to help support them. And then otherwise, just go to helping us do the best content we can possibly make. That's pretty much it. What about posters, grounding techniques, or positive quotes, etc.? That's a really good idea. Yeah, we could definitely look into that, see if that's something that we could have made. Because that would definitely be good for people, something they can put up somewhere and easily see. Another one we were thinking of is like a book with positive affirmations that are purely secular in nature, and then has the option for you to fill in your own as well. that was something we thought about doing. Hi, Matai System. Hello. Hope you guys are doing well. I know you guys haven't been feeling so great, so I hope you're feeling a little better today. A cookbook with your favorite recipes? Oh, that would be fun. We have always wanted to make a cookbook, so that could be fun. That's definitely a good suggestion. Thank you. Yep. You know, we just figure there's so many people out there who, need things that maybe aren't as easily accessible, so why not? Math system, not really, but hopefully we'll get better soon. Oh well, okay. Well, we hope you guys start feeling better soon because it's no good to be sick. Nobody wants that. That is never a fun experience. So we send lots of good vibes and well wishes your way, and we really hope you feel better soon. Make sure you're getting plenty of fluids and lots of rest. Got to take care of that body of yours so that you can get better. Excuse me. Plushies or coloring books for littles and relaxation. We actually did think about plushies a little bit. That was something that we thought about. Maybe what we thought about that might be cool is like little plushies that have like a front pocket that you can slip like a little heart into that you can put scents and things on, so it's calming and soothing. That's something we thought about. Coloring books is a good idea. Um, Coloring books are awesome, whether you're grown up, little, middle, doesn't really matter. Coloring books are great for relaxing. It's something you can focus on and just do, and kind of takes you out of whatever unpleasantness you're in the moment. So that's always nice. Thank you. We'll be going to bed as soon as it is 11:15 p.m. for us, but we'll hang around for 10 minutes. Okay, yeah, you guys definitely take good care of yourselves. And it's understandable that's very late for you guys. Yeah, we try to make the times for live streams as accessible as possible to people, but unfortunately, there's only so much we can do. Oh, I seem to have frozen. What happened? There we go. Yeah, we try to make it as accessible as possible, but, sometimes our schedule unfortunately doesn't line up with other people's. Sorry if we seem a little out of it today, just tired. We've been doing a lot of work in therapy lately, so we're just kind of sleepy. No worries, smiley face. Aw. Thank you. So, we did also want to give everybody a heads up that when we reach the point that we're able to do so, we do eventually want to monetize our videos, and then 10% of the ad revenue would go to an infinite mind, and the rest would go to doing things like improving this crappy webcam that you see here that, is just so lovely and blurry, and helping us to improve the channel and things like that. Mood, yeah, definitely. No, it's fine. Normally we're up till like 3 a.m., but since being ill, it has really taken away all of our energy. How are you, anyways? Yeah, we're usually up later a lot of the time, just because it ends up happening. Um, it completely makes sense when you're sick. You want to sleep earlier than you would normally, so that's completely normal. Um, we're doing all right. Just working through some tough stuff in therapy right now. It's been kind of special trying to work through certain memories and things like that that are really not so much fun. And otherwise, we've been just kind of trying to enjoy life one day at a time. Take it one day at a time and do our best. That's all we can do. Though I must say, the forgetfulness would be really nice if it would quit for a little while. That'd be great. Because walking into a room determined to do something particular, and 5 seconds later having to stand there for like 20 minutes trying to figure out what the heck I was in the room for, it's getting really old. Trauma work is so necessary but exhausting mentally, physically, and emotionally. Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely worth it, but it is definitely exhausting. Anti-system, well, we think you're all doing great. Oh, thank you. That's very much appreciated. That's very nice of you. We do try our best. We know that problem, lol. Yeah, it's so irritating. You go to do something, and then you're like, wait, what was I doing? What's going on? Or the ever-present one for us is always, what day is it? What time is it? Because even when just one of us is fronting for the majority of the day, we still can't seem to keep track of what day or time it is. So that's always pretty entertaining. We tend to check our phone a lot, and clocks, and calendars. We have like 3 calendars in our house just to write down everything, all the appointments and everything else to keep track of it, because otherwise we'd never remember. And that lack of the ability to put things in any sort of chronological order in memory can make things pretty interesting sometimes. Trying to remember, did I do this yesterday or last week? I don't know. Ask me Jedi. Science fact trick for that problem is go back to the room where you had the idea and it will usually come back. The brain associates the room with the thought. Oh, that's cool. Thank you. We will certainly try that in the future. That might help. Not sure what we'll do when we're in the same room and we forget what we're doing, but that is helpful for when we've left one room and gone into another. We will definitely give that a shot. We appreciate the advice. Yeah, memory with dissociative disorders is just kind of a thing. I'm sure you guys all know that. It's just special sometimes trying to figure out what's going on. The ecosystem. One of my protectors said he was actually in love with me. Carlotta, host. Don't know how to react. Was totally unexpected. Well, we do have a couple of members of our system who are in relationships with each other, so it's not unheard of. It's not abnormal. In fact, from what we've heard, a lot of people have that going on. I mean, it's not necessarily everyone, of course, but it's not unheard of. Um, I guess the only thing you could really do is parse how you feel about him and whether or not you reciprocate those feelings. And if you don't, tell him. I mean, you don't ever have to have feelings for someone. So if they're not there, they're not there. but it might be a good idea to sit down and figure out how you feel, just like you would if it were an outside person approaching you with their feelings. Just sit down, take time, figure out how you feel and what you feel is best for you to do, and then let them know in a kind, gentle way that, you feel this way or that way, and move forward from there. It's definitely interesting when it's someone you share a body with. We've got a few people that have that experience, and it can make certain things harder, but it's not impossible to do if it's something that you want. At 52 years old, we use that trick a lot. Oh yeah, I bet it gets interesting when you walk into a room and have no idea what just happened or what you're trying to do, and then you go back and there you go. So I bet that will help. Anti-system, and it's well annoying when it comes to meds, not remembering if you've taken them. Yeah, we used to run into that problem a lot. It's why we got a pill counter. So now I make sure at the end of every week I refill our pill counter, and then I can easily see if we took them or not. It makes it a lot easier to remember. I shouldn't have said that. The head just bam, he feels a bit upset. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I mean, I can understand why he might feel a little upset by that. Um, there's no judgment here from us. We just, want to be helpful if at all possible. So, no judgment here, and, his feelings are valid, your feelings are valid, everyone's feelings are valid. There's, you know, you're not going to get any judgment from us. Probably something you guys should discuss, talk it out. Like you guys were saying earlier, communication is essential. It's always best to talk through any sort of disagreements or problems. What creepy doing so weird. Just tried to open up too, sometimes crowd. I'm feeling dizzy. Well, if you're feeling dizzy, definitely if you're not sitting down already, I would sit down. Put your head between your knees, take slow breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. That can help that dizziness pass. If that doesn't work, you can try laying down. Just put yourself in a position where you're safe and you're not going to fall. And if nothing works to help, just stay in one place until it passes. That's been our general experience with dizziness. It's always best to find a safe place to sit down, otherwise you tend to fall down. And we can completely understand about, some members of the system being particularly proud. We have a few of those. Berserker just commented whether or not I was talking about her. Yes, I was talking about you. She responded that damn right she is. Yeah. Communication is always fun. Ecosystem Amy. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Amy. Little big laughing face. That's great. Aw. Yeah. It's always entertaining when we're having a conversation, whoever's fronting is talking, and other people have their opinions that they'd like to put in. We get some very interesting chatter sometimes. Struggling to stay awake, so off to bed for us was nice seeing you again, Kate. And if you're all talking to everyone, stay safe. 99 all. Good night. Sleep well. Henry Dragons. Hi, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the live stream. We were just discussing how entertaining it can be when you have one person talking and other people sharing their opinions internally about what you're saying. Amy, Carlotta was very happy to be in a live stream here finally. She mentioned it a couple of times. Oh, so glad to hear that. That's awesome. We always like having the live streams because we can actually talk to people a little bit more readily. Rachel Louise, hi, is this Kit? Yes, it is Kit right now. SPJ, haha face commentary, yeah. We can get some pretty colorful commentary sometimes. Though I do have to say the worst part is when someone's commentary unintentionally comes out of our mouth. So mid-sentence and we suddenly say something completely out there off the wall to what we were saying. That's always really special. We tend to just be like, oh, that wasn't what I meant, and then move on. SVJ S2, yeah. Commentary can sometimes be an interesting mixed bag. I have to say, I have quite a few rather entertaining remembrances of going to say something and somebody else saying something else that wasn't what I was intending to say. It wasn't really fun at the time, but I can laugh about it now, as can they. Little big, oh, I can relate to that. People accidentally getting too close to the front, yeah. As we did, I understatement, yeah. I remember once in particular, I dropped food in my lap. I was eating, and it fell off my fork into my lap. And I was like, oh, sad, because my food fell in my lap. And my husband looks at me and goes, what happened? And I go to say, oh, it fell in my lap. And instead, Berserker's commentary pops out of my mouth, and it fell off my effing fork. What the F do you think happened? You dumb, because I'm trying not to swear in case any littles might be present. But yeah, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. That was not what I meant to say. When we blank on words and littles try to be helpful, we say toothpaste instead of peanut butter. Oh my goodness, I can relate to that. Go to say something and can't think of the word, and what comes out is not even close. Or it's half of one word superimposed with half of the other word, so then it comes out completely backwards. That's always special too. Little big haha face and face, oh no, yeah. We've had some rather interesting moments of that. The ecosystem, Amy, thank you for taking into account the littles. The twins are here watching with me. They're middles. Okay, yeah, definitely. We always try to monitor that. Berserker tends to swear like a sailor, so she tries around children, and Littles and anybody else, she really tries. But I try really hard not to swear if I can help it in any sort of live stream or video, just because I know that there might be listeners watching. That is why we always put a warning if Berserker is doing a video and she's swearing a lot. We do try to give people the ability to move past that one if maybe it's not appropriate at the moment. And hello to the twins also, since they are here. Yeah, it can always be kind of interesting having to watch what you say. You also sometimes have to watch what you think, too. That's always interesting. We've gotten pretty good at monitoring to make sure who's paying attention to what we're thinking, but there's definitely moments where it's like, oh, well, you were not supposed to hear that thought. Moving on. I asked them if they wanted to say something, but they're shy. Haha. Well, that's okay. Everybody gets shy sometimes. Nothing wrong with that. If it makes them feel any better, I don't like ordering food when I go places because I feel too awkward and uncomfortable to ask people for things, so I can get feeling a little shy sometimes. Well, that's cool, Henry, that you guys have twins also that are bigs. That's neat. We have a couple of twins in our system, but I've not met them personally. I've just seen them in periphery other than one set of twins that I do know. And they're very, very different from each other, I have to say. Because we have one who, she's a middle, and as is her sister, and they're night and day to each other. So it's always interesting to see other systems that have twins because we don't run into it all the time. Ask me Jedi, I host in a twin. Oh, that's cool. My husband actually has an outside identical twin. Rachel Ruiz saying, oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to ask that as well. Ask me Jedi, my twin is way more laid back. Yeah, it's always amazing how people don't realize how different twins can be. But very, very different people. Just because you look a lot alike or, have similar features doesn't mean you're the same. When did you find out you had DID? We were diagnosed early 20s, if I remember correctly. Yes, early 20s. It was right before my daughter was born. So early 20s, yes. Would have been around 20, 21 years old. And our body's 30 now, so that was a while ago. It's been quite the journey thus far, and we're still working on it. Nora just said, there's a doggy, she's fired, she's crazy about animals. Oh, we love animals too. That's why we have 2 dogs, 2 hamsters, and a bird. Oh, so you guys were recently diagnosed. Well, hey, doesn't matter when you get there. It's not a race. hi, you were talking about littles and I wanted to say hi. Aw, hello. My name's Anya. Hello, Anya. Nice to meet you. Honey Dragons, when you aren't sure who you are, I too am a twin. I was talking about myself in the third person, apparently. My twin, we're identical, but she's trans, so we don't look alike. Eddie. Oh, okay. Yeah, even without having a twin, I sometimes run into the, who am I? What's going on? What's happening? Hi, at the ecosystem, LOL, John. So there's a, yep, autism DX at 48, DID at 51. Yeah, I assume that probably makes it a little more difficult when it's later in life to, have these diagnoses, but I hope it also helped explain a lot of things. We were actually diagnosed as autistic in college in, let's see, we would have been like 19, I think. And then a couple of years later, DID diagnosis. So similar timeline, just different ages. Ecosystem, hi everyone. Nice to meet you too. Aw, thank you, Anya. I appreciate that. Honey Dragons, oh, we found out we're a system. September 14th, 2020, not diagnosed yet. Our psychiatrist said too complicated to diagnose in one appointment, Bobby 30. Yeah, it can take a while. It definitely can. It's definitely not an easy diagnosis. It was months before we received one. We took all kinds of tests and answered all kinds of questionnaires. We did all kinds of appointments. It was rather an involved process for us. It took 8 years for us. Wow. Yep. It can definitely take a long time. It took me 4 years to get an autism diagnosis. Yeah, it can be a while, especially because for whatever reason, a lot of doctors don't recognize it as well when they're dealing with a female presenting person or a female bodied person. They don't tend to pick up on it as easily for some reason. Probably because there's some differences in the way that male autistic people and female autistic people tend to present when they're younger as well as they get older. But it's definitely something that doctors need to get better on top of. I think, yeah, we're the same. We've been told we have it, but they don't diagnose. Yeah, sometimes sometimes professionals don't like to give a concrete diagnosis. They'll tell you what they think's going on or what they're sure is going on, and then they're not going to actually put it on paper. That can always be a little frustrating, though, if you want the official diagnosis. And yeah, it is definitely interesting seeing two systems with the same system name. That's cool. I think the female brains hide it more. Yeah, sometimes. Um, from every study we've ever read, it seems that female-born people tend to be more adept at masking in certain situations, and some of that may be social, as well as just natural differences between the sexes hormonally and everything. So there could be lots of different things involved. Since female here in our kids, the exit 14 led to ours. Yeah, that that must have made things a little interesting, I would imagine. Our psychiatrist said definitely a dissociative disorder. How many are here besides DID? Oh, DID and OSD. Let's see. How many dissociative disorders are there besides DID and OSD? There's dissociative fugue, depersonalization disorder, derealization disorder, um, OSDD1, and then there's a couple other types of OSDD. We don't know a lot about those ones. DID, and then I think that's it, but you would have to check the DSM or other manual of diagnoses to be 100%. It's kind of hard for me to pull that off the top of my head. The ecosystem. As far as our therapist told Carlotta, you were an ecosystem and you liked it. That's cool. Jedi, gotta go exercise, self-care. Self-care is always important. You have a good rest of your day and take care. The system I logged on and was like, well, I'm already here. Oh, well, John. Yeah, I imagine that would be entertaining. I think, oh wow, that's already more than I thought. Yeah, there's quite a few dissociative disorders. Without pulling up the DSM, I can't say for sure that I've listed them all, but those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. You take care, Asby. Be good to yourselves. Lots of self-care. New Dragons, John, that's what we thought. LOL, thought you had 2 accounts. Changed picture, yeah. And yes, John, I imagine how it's great to have the same name. Feels like a union. That's nice. Yeah, we've never had a system name. We never really felt the need for one. For us personally, though we completely understand and it's completely valid for anybody who wants one. It's just never something that we've been able to find something that fit for us. Plus, with as many of us as there are, it would be awfully hard to probably come to an agreement. It's hard enough to come to an agreement on other things. I can't even imagine trying to come to an agreement on one name that everybody is comfortable with. We should see what happens when we're trying to figure out what to have for our birthday cake every year. We usually end up with 4 different flavors, and we make them throughout the month. Or we make cupcakes and have 4 flavors of cupcakes. So far, our system name is what everyone calls the host. Well, that makes sense. I mean, I think the closest thing we ever got to a system name was just calling ourselves a family. Because, you know, a lot of us grew up together. But other than that, that's pretty much the closest we've ever gotten. That's actually really nice. Aw, thank you. Yeah, a lot of the others like to joke that they're like aunts and uncles to my daughter because they're like, we'll show up and buy her, you know, ice cream or toys or things and, you know, have fun and hang out and whatnot. And then you get to deal with the other stuff. Bye. That's always really fun. I can feel the expectation in the whole system since they knew about another echo. Ha. It's our name in the inner world. The 5 people in charge represent 5 elements to sustain life, so it's elemental collective organization. Echo. Oh, that's really cool. That's neat. Just double checking to make sure we haven't missed anything in the chat. I always like to check. Yeah, it's always cool to hear about how other systems are organized and how they work, because everybody is always so unique. So it's always interesting when we can see, oh hey, we relate to this, or oh hey, that's really different from us, but that's also really cool. Communication, cooperation, organization, and respect are so important for a system to work. Exactly, very much so. That's something we're still working on with some members of our system, but those of us who cohabitate in the front of our system have definitely gotten good at this point at communicating, cooperating. We don't always agree on everything, but at least we can have a conversation about it now. Nice to be able to talk to you guys. YouTube community is cool. Yeah, we've found that this seems to be a really nice, supportive community overall here on YouTube. Thankfully, YouTube instituted all kinds of rules about what people are and aren't allowed to say to people. So now people can't be rude and obnoxious anymore on YouTube because that used to be a problem. And we've actually run into very few people who felt the need to be rude. And as a general rule, we either just try to educate them if they're open to that, or just move on and ignore them and delete their rude, derogatory commentary. So thankfully, we don't have to do that very often, though. It's only been like 3 or 4 times that we've had to delete a comment because somebody was being nasty and unpleasant. So yeah, it's definitely a nice community, and we're really thankful to be part of it, because it's nice to be able to talk to so many other systems and people who love systems and get so many different perspectives. As much as we want to help educate people, we always appreciate when we learn new things too. Because we know we don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. So whenever we get new information from other systems, that helps us to learn more too. You're back? Okay. Amir insists he's a 9-year-old about mentioning Power Rangers as a metaphor to DID. All the Rangers need to work together to defeat the evil guys. Hey, that actually does work as a good metaphor, and we used to watch Power Rangers as a kid, so Power Rangers is pretty cool, gotta say. I even watched the new Power Rangers movie as a grown-up, so nothing wrong with Power Rangers. Pelican, hello, so nice to make a live. I usually don't. Have you had any integrations or fusions? If so, have any ever unfused? We did have one where it was an integration that then unfused later, that I'm aware of anyway. I've been told we've had others inner world that I wasn't aware of, so apparently there have been other ones. But yes, we have had that happen. Honey Dragons, exactly. Like, look at all the twins. We had no idea. So cool. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that works. Wait, people can unfuse. Yeah, it is something that does happen. Like, even systems that decide to undergo final fusion can split again, or unfuse, or other things like that if something happens. So it's certainly possible. Oh, almost had a sneeze there. Amir asks if he can say hi, so he's going to say hi. That's fine. Anybody who wants to say hi is always welcome. Henry Dragons, we thought of our body like the Megazord from Power Rangers when co-fronting. Like, you've got left leg, you've got right arm. Yeah. We've had moments of that with co-fronting. It's why we tend to not co-front if we can help it, because it feels really awkward and we get a terrible headache afterwards. Because you got one person doing one thing with one part of the body and another person doing something else. It gets confusing. For us, we've gotten it to where one person is controlling the body and one person might be talking, so that way it's not quite as disorienting for us. So can we think one of us unfused due to severe pain sound right? It's certainly possible. Severe pain can certainly cause that. Anything stressful, traumatic, even if it's mild in comparison to other traumas, or, it's what they call a little t trauma. Anything that is overly stressful or unpleasant or, causes distress can certainly cause that to happen. Oh, hi, I've never seen you guys live before. That's so cool. We're a system 2. We just aren't good with keeping up with YouTube stuff. Well, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Welcome to the live stream. Glad you could join us. And it's fine. It's hard to keep up with online stuff. Amir says, hey, hello. This is neat. Aw, glad you think so. Oh, wow, that actually helps with some of my fears about fusing. Oh, well, that's good. Glad to hear that. Hello. Hello. New Dragons, when walking, it's hard when one person has the head and someone else is walking. It feels like you're going to fall over, but we don't. Yeah, I imagine that would be really uncomfortable. Like, we've had one person texting and another person holding a book and another person talking before. That was pretty much the limit of what we could handle at one time, and we had such a massive headache afterwards. I cannot even tell you. Uh-oh, Carl said he gets pissed off all the time. Oh, that's not good. So, everyone's feelings are valid. It happens sometimes. Some people just are more passionate about their emotions than other people. Get a little cranky. It happens. We have a few people who get kind of cranky. Yes, Berserker, I meant you. Yes, I meant him too. Yes, okay. Sorry, commentary. Um, all of our littles want to say hi to all of your littles and tell them that they're very brave like us. Aw, that's very sweet. Send that out there. That's pretty nice. Carlo is our primary protector. He's overprotective with littles. Yeah, that can happen. And I mean, it's understandable. I mean, you gotta protect kids. We're very protective of all the littles, middles, and younger people, and more vulnerable people in our system too. So it's understandable. Definitely good to let people, have their time as well. But it's understandable to be worried about their safety. Yeah, when I'm close to the front, I can't even think without my head hurting. Yeah, it it can be interesting. It can be very, very interesting to try to function in any sort of cohesive way when you've got way too much going on. That's why we tend to try to be co-conscious as opposed to co-fronting, just because it gets so overwhelming. And the dragon says hello to all the littles. Oh, that's a really cute little unicorn emoji. I didn't know that was a thing. That's cool. Some of our littles said they really like the unicorn. They think it's cool, and they think it's really pretty. And Lo really likes the pink hair. I'm the only one who's protective over the other little, and I'm one of them. Haha. Yeah, I mean, hey, nothing wrong with that. We have one little in our system in particular who's quite young, and she's definitely 100% a protector and somewhat cranky some of the time, but that's okay. We like her anyway. Randy Sadler, hi, we're a System 2. I was lucky I found you live. I'm sorry if I get quiet. I have several protectors close. It's making me dissociated. Yeah, that's okay. We completely understand that. I'm a little fuzzy at the moment myself, so it's completely okay. Thanks, we had a really big test today. Excuse me. It was exhausting. It's so good to watch more calm live. We should be here for some time, even if we don't chat much. That's fine. Nothing wrong with taking a break. It's always good to do something nice and calming for self-care, especially after something stressful like a test. I never particularly like taking tests. They always stress me out. None of us really like them, actually. I can't think of a single one of us who likes taking tests. Oh my goodness. I've got so many other people trying to be co-conscious at the same time right now that I'm a little fuzzy. Everybody wants to join in. Hey, got Amy Fronted. Sorry guys, I feel like I've been gone forever. It's Carolina. Hey, welcome back. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody needs a break sometimes. New Dragons, that's why baking was so hard. It was like a test. Yeah, I can understand that. I'm not even gonna lie. We were super anxious about baking on camera because it's not something that we've ever done before, and I was literally trying not to panic and cry a couple of times because I was freaking out. But baking is my de-stressor, my safe place. So eventually, I was able to calm it down and get to a place where I was okay. But it definitely was hard to start with. I can understand that. Definitely a positive experience, and definitely one that I'm glad to be part of. But yeah, it was stressful at first. Some of us even like tests, honestly, just not 5+ hour ones. Oh, that's a long test. Yuck. Yeah, I can't imagine anybody who'd like a 5 hour test. That sounds horribly exhausting. Thank you so much for being so supportive and comprehensive. It's aw, you're very welcome. We always try to be as supportive and helpful as we possibly can. Dragons, plus some of our ticks get held down on camera, and holding down ticks isn't fun either. I would imagine. Um, Having not dealt with ticks personally, I can't speak to that experience on a personal level, but I can certainly understand the anxiety of trying to hold it all together. Even if it's not exactly the same experience, I can understand that that's not the easiest thing. Oh, I have a question. Did you ever not have an inner world? If not, how did you get one? Um, as far as I'm aware, we've always had one to some degree or another. It started out small and relatively dark, but over time, more was added to it and it became more and more complex. Some of that was just of our own doing, some of that was unfortunately of the doing of very bad people, but it's big and complex now. And I'm not really sure how we got one. I think it was just that we needed a safe place to exist outside of what was happening. And that was our brain's way of dealing with that, was to make an inner world. I mean, I can't say for sure, but that seems like that was the reason. OMG, I feel like I'm in a roller coaster, lol. Oh, how come? So within our inner world is like that a good place to run to when we couldn't deal with what was happening? Yeah. And for us, our inner world has multiple layers to it. So there's our main front area, and then there's several other, it's almost like different dimensions, I guess you could say. Like they're completely separate worlds unto themselves. A couple of the others have joked it's like we're a multiverse. So it can be kind of interesting. We have done some, I guess you could say, remodeling on certain areas of the inner world over time, as the people who lived in those areas came to be healthier and things like that, and then they wanted to change the area they were living in to be a more positive place. Like we used to have one that it was a scary castle meant for scary bad things, and after the people who lived there got to a healthier place and started learning more about the fact that we don't have to do things that way anymore, and that we don't have to be in that place anymore, then they remodeled it to be like more of a fun amusement park type place for everyone to go play. People want to front. Oh, well, oh yeah, that makes sense. When a bunch of people want to front all at the same time, it can feel very weird. Yeah, we don't have one, but I really want to try and make one because it would be nice to have somewhere to go. Hey, I mean, we've heard from other systems that it is possible to create one if it's a collaborative effort, if you don't already have one. So, I mean, I've heard guided imagery can help with that, if it's something that you're trying to do. You're trying to build an inner world. I would Google and see if there's any good resources out there, because that's really the only one that I've ever heard of. If we come across anything else, we'll make sure to send it along. But yeah, sitting down and creating it together as a group seems to be the best way of doing things that I've ever heard of. So hopefully that'll help. It feels like literally people want to sit down in front of the PC at the same time, like me, my turn, no, mine. Yeah. Been there. That's, yeah. Like I said, feel a little fuzzy at the moment because we got so many people. What's going on? What's everybody doing? I want to talk to. I want to pay attention. What's happening? So I can get that. Henry Dragons, we feel like here is a different dimension. It's hard to believe here is real a lot of the time, but truth is stranger than fiction. Yeah. And the dissociation can do that too, making it seem so completely foreign and unreal. It's definitely interesting sometimes. Pelican, we have different places too, and all the people in each different place are grouped from a particular incident. So like their caregivers, protectors, etc. in each place. Yeah, for us, it's separated up depending on what their specific stuff that they dealt with was, as well as what their specific function in the system is. So it's similar type of idea. Okay, I will Google, thank you. No one else really needs one, it's just me. Well, you could certainly make one just for yourself, I'm sure. I mean, you probably need everybody's okay to do that. I mean, I don't know that it could be something that you could do just completely without everyone else's go ahead, but I'm sure it's possible for you to make one just for yourself. It just might take a little extra work. Or you could recruit other people to help you out. And the funny thing is that I ask, okay, who wants to front and everyone is quiet? LOL, yeah. That's always fun when it's like, okay, who wants to do this? That everybody who's been jumping up and down, acting like they want to be involved, is suddenly like, oh wait, who wants to go? So I can get that. That's so cool. Aw. Yeah, we've worked hard to try to make our inner world a positive place as much as possible. There are still areas that are decidedly not fun to be in, but we're hoping that with time and more healing, those places can become a positive place too. We've seen it happen with other places, so we know it's certainly possible. So hopefully that's something we can continue to do. Jamie's in charge, I'll ask him to help me. That sounds like a good idea. It's always nice to have help and cooperation. Alrighty, well, we've been on here for a little over an hour and getting very fuzzy up here. So we're going to go ahead and end the stream here. If anybody else has any other questions or comments, we'll wait about 5 minutes for any more questions or comments. And then other than that, feel free to email us. Sorry if it's been taking us a little while to get back to people with emails. Just been a bit swamped. We promise we will get back to anybody who emails us. It might just take us a little bit. Okay, it was really nice to see you all. Thank you. It was nice to see you also. Our inner world is divided in 4 lands: a garden, caretakers and littles, and normally altars who front the most, a forest, protectors, caves, persecutors, and desert the rest. Oh, that's cool. For us, our front world is kind of like the outside world, but physics and things like that don't exactly work quite the same. And then the other worlds are like completely foreign dimensions or completely different planets, almost, in the way that they function. Like we have one that's just all dirt with a couple of windows. Just everything around is dirt. Guys, it feels so good in here. You guys are all so amazing and supportive. Really, oh, that's really awesome. So glad you find this general community to be supportive. That's really nice. You guys are welcome anytime in our live streams and our comments. Joining in, check out other systems videos. This is definitely a nice place to be. I think ours will be a made-up street in London. My host imagines all the time. Oh, that's cool. That sounds like a nice place. London is actually pretty cool. Our mother actually went to London once. We've never been, though we've always wanted to go. We got about 2 more minutes. If anybody else has anything else they'd like to say, go ahead. Especially due to the drama going on with alternative, dissociative, etc. I'm glad we're drama free in here. Yeah, we try to stay far, far away from the drama. I don't like drama. I don't do drama. I want nothing to do with it. And none of us have the mental energy to deal with other people's drama. So we just stay out of it. If it doesn't have anything to do with us personally, we're not going to be involved. I was born there. The city is good if you don't mind loud noises. Yeah. I would imagine it can be pretty loud. I mean, it's a pretty big city. But that's really cool that you guys were born there. Or at least that you were born there. I don't know if everyone was. I agree. When I started looking it up, I was worried. Then I found this channel. Aw. I'm glad you found this as positive. That's nice. Yeah, unfortunately, there could be a lot of drama online in general. Our best practice has always been to just avoid the drama whenever possible. If we see it, we walk away. It was heartbreaking to see how this community started breaking up due to all that drama. Yeah, it was. It was a mess. But like I said, that's why we've always found unless we're personally involved in something, we're just going to stay out of it because it's not worth the mental energy. And we even saw plenty of the systems that were involved in all of that who just walked away from it because it wasn't something that they were willing to put all of their energy into. So we're definitely glad to see that some of the systems who were involved seem to be moving forward and healing from all of that. Thank you so much for being so amazing. Aw, thank you. That's very kind of you. We appreciate that. Alrighty, so there was our 5 minutes. We're going to go ahead and end the stream. Hope everybody has a good day or night, depending on what time zone you're in, and a good rest of your weekend. Take care, everybody. Have a good day.